Okay, imagine this. You get dropped in the middle of nowhere with a complete stranger. Your goal? Just survive. The prize? A cool $10,000 for every single day you last. This is that story. A wild test of endurance, friendship, and what money? Well, what it really can't buy.
So this was the simple but kind of insane idea from the creator, Mr. Beast. Two guys, Halsey and Grizz, who'd never even met, are suddenly partners in this massive social experiment. And just like that, their whole world shrinks down to just each other and the forest around them.
And the stakes? They could not be higher. For every single 24-hour period they survived, a briefcase with 10 grand would literally fall from the sky. This wasn't some one-time prize. The longer they stuck it out, the richer they got. I mean, in theory, there was no limit to what they could earn.
And from day one, these guys were thinking big. They weren't just aiming for a week or a month. Nope, they set their sights on a full year. They did the math. They could walk away with over $3.6 million. I mean, what an intoxicating dream, right? But the wilderness? Well, it was about to put that dream to the ultimate test.
So yeah, they had millions on their minds, but their real ordeal was just kicking off. And it all started with a simple, brutal battle for survival.
I mean, the first few days were just brutal. They were dealing with freezing nights, getting maybe 2 hours of sleep, huddled in this little shelter they made out of pine needles. And that 5-day food supply they started with? Yeah, that was gone by day 9. After that, it was just them and whatever the wilderness decided to give them.
And you can really get a sense of their mindset from this comment by Hase. They weren't just hungry, they were starving. They were having to play these mental games, just trying to reframe their own suffering to cope with that gnawing emptiness.
And right when they were hitting their absolute physical limit, the whole challenge changed. Mr. Beast started introducing these temptations, designed to see just how much of their future fortune they'd be willing to give up for a little bit of relief right now.
So on day 10, a helicopter shows up with food, spices, fishing gear, the whole shebang. The price tag? $50,000. Now, for two guys who'd literally been eating leaves, the temptation was just too much. They took the deal, sacrificing 5 full days of earnings for the simple guarantee of a full stomach.
10 days later, another test. Those freezing nights were still a huge problem, so they get an offer. 2 professional-grade sleeping bags for another 50 grand. This was a really clear choice, comfort or cash.
But this time was different. You'd think they'd jump at the chance for a warm night's sleep. But no, they turned it down flat. They actually believed they'd adapted, that they toughened up, and that $50,000 was just way too steep a price to pay.
And their willpower just got stronger from there. On day 30, they get presented with this pop-up store in the middle of the woods, filled with everything you could ever want. Firewood, tools, hammocks, you name it. And you know what they bought? Absolutely nothing. They were all in on maximizing that final number.
But here's the thing. Surviving the elements, that was only part of the challenge. The real test, the one that truly matters, was still to come. The isolation and the psychological strains started to really wear on their friendship and, on their own willpower.
So think about it. They turned down comfort, they turned down tools, they turned down food. So what on earth could possibly tempt them to spend their hard-earned money now? What did they value more than the cash they were fighting so hard for?
Well, the answer wasn't a thing at all. It was a feeling. It was human connection. On day 40, for just $10,000, they were offered the chance to see their families, and they said yes without even a second of hesitation. It just goes to show, some things are truly priceless.
But that visit, while it was this huge morale boost, it also planted a dangerous seed of doubt. Husgo's wife's emotional plea just completely changed the game for him. Suddenly, the goal wasn't about the millions anymore. It was just about getting home.
And after that day, everything shifted. Jose's focus was gone. He didn't want to last a year. He wanted to go home. But Grizz? Grizz still had his eyes on that $1 million prize. And this massive disagreement created this deep, growing crack between them.
Eventually, all that tension just boiled over. This sharp, angry outburst from Haas, it just shows you how completely frayed their nerves were. That easy friendship from the early days was totally gone, replaced by this raw, unfiltered frustration.
It got so bad that at one point Hayes, in his moment of just pure desperation, he stole the flare gun, the one thing that could end the challenge for both of them, instantly. In his mind, all that was standing between him and his family was pulling a single trigger.
And all of this brings us to the climax of their journey, a final, just heartbreaking confrontation, where they had to decide what truly mattered more, the money they came for or the bond they had built in that wilderness.
In this incredibly raw and emotional confession, Hase just laid it all out there. He admitted to Gris that the money meant nothing to him anymore, that his heart wasn't in it, and that the only reason he was still there was his loyalty to his friend. And faced with his friend's pain, Gris made this unbelievable choice. He let go of his own $1 million dream to support his friend. He chose their brotherhood over a fortune.
And so, on day 74, their incredible journey came to an end. From that first hopeful day, through the emotional chaos of the family visit and those tense final negotiations, they fired the flare, together. After spending a total of $70,000 on supplies and that all-important family visit, they walked away with $670,000 to split, a truly life-changing amount of money earned through just unimaginable hardship.
In the end, this whole incredible story really leaves us with a powerful question. They went in there looking for a fortune, but what they found was this unbreakable bond. It really makes you wonder, what's the real price?